To Coldwell Banker, as has CNBC, but that day they were not fair and balanced. And that lady, Dagan, she was as close to me as I am to you, and she was sitting there like this, staring me down. Seriously, it was just absolutely unbelievable. Now, if I have enough time, I'm kind of going a little over, but just to tell you kind of a funny story, the next time I was on, that guy emailed me and apologized, by the way, after that. And I emailed back and said, I really would like to come back. And he invited me back about 2 weeks later. David and I got there extra early before the show started. In fact, he was in makeup. And when he came out of makeup, I bumped into him, and he was apologizing, and I said, look, here's, this is back when we were pushing for the tax credit. So I did my spiel there and converted the guy. And he was absolutely a pussycat during that interview and allowed me to get everything in that I wanted to get in. And later, actually, he was interviewing Richard Smith and brought my name up to Richard in the interview as far as what the proposals were. So you can turn these people around. But my point is that there are people that you're going to be working with that are going to blame you. Going to blame our industry. So you need also to be aware of that. So put yourself in their shoes. A lot of them have seen 5 years now price drops. Some parts of the country 50% price drops, but thanks to the national press, a lot of people think that every market in the country's dropped 50%. So one of the things that I've been doing in my speeches is saying, I'm thinking, okay, if I were still selling real estate, what I would do is, for different sections of the market that I'm covering, I would find a property that just sold, and that had sold maybe 5 years ago, and then sold maybe 10 or 12 or 15 years ago, and have actual printouts there for my buyers to show them long range what appreciation is done in this particular marketplace that I am an expert in. Because people that are buying homes don't buy a home for 1 year to flip it. You ask somebody how long are you going to stay in this home, they're probably going to say 7 to 10 years. Oh, great, okay, here's what happened over the last 7 to 10 years with this particular, not this particular property, but, or maybe it is the property that they're looking at, but here's some statistics, and here's the actual listing sheets from a property that's, 1 block over, very similar type property, and how much it has appreciated over the last 10 or 15 years. So that way, it takes the price challenge out of it. So, in concluding, I just want to share with you why I think that our industry is absolutely the best industry to be in right now, long-term and short-term. Short-term is one of the main reasons is the demographics of our country. There are 78 million baby boomers still active, a lot of them putting off retirement. Most of them are under the age of 60 that have more money than any other previous generation. They're still active, and they're still purchasing homes and second homes and investment homes. If you're not selling investment homes, you're missing out also. That's a whole other speech. The kids of the baby boomers are going to take over. People say, oh, what's going to happen after the baby boomers? There's not going to be anybody left to buy homes. Well, the millenniums, or as a lot of people say, the echo boomers, are 73 million strong, almost as big a group as the baby boomers. And if you put 31 years onto the baby boomers, from 1977 through 1994, that time frame, 73 million. And according to the U.S. Census and many studies, they have purchased homes earlier in their life than their baby boomer parents. They understand and realize the value of real estate. Baby boomers really didn't realize the value of real estate until they were in their 30s. These young Americans understand that real estate is a great investment. They will continue to fuel our real estate industry for decades to come. Also immigrants. I'm not talking about what they're arguing about there in Washington, D.C. I'm talking about legal immigrants that move into our country, that add value to our country, that want and deserve the American dream. Between 1 and 1.5 million immigrants, legal immigrants, move into our country and become good, solid United States citizens. Minorities. Minorities in this country, home ownership for minorities has grown in the last 12 or 13 years from about 40% to just under 50%. And that's going to continue to grow. And then single females. We cannot forget the strength and the power of single females. For this entire decade, or the last decade, right above, a little above 20% of all the homes sold in this country were to single females. And I always like to kind of joke around, you ask what single males, what percentage is about 9%. And I used to be a single male, so I know what's on their minds. Household formation, continues to grow. I mean, typically it should be between 1 million and 1.5 million. It's been a lot lower, but still, that's going to explode in the next couple of years when kids finally leave home. And then long term is fabulous. I mean, right now we've got an imbalance of supply and demand in the wrong direction. Long term, we've got an imbalance of supply and demand in a positive direction if you invest in real estate now and in the next 3 or 4 years. Why do I say that? Our country is going to go from 300 million population a few years ago to 400 million. Now they're saying by the year 2039. It's like 3 million growth a year. And there were 2 studies that I quote in almost every speech that I give. The Brookings Institute several years ago did a study saying, okay, how many residential units need to be constructed by the year 2030? It's 58.9 million. 58.9 million. And then Virginia Tech. Boom, Virginia Tech. Any Hokies here? Any Hokies here? Okay. You guys did a survey about a year and a half later. About a year and a half later, Tommy stood up for that one. That's a good one. The Arthur C. Nielsen Foundation at Virginia Tech did the same study, totally independent, looked out to the year 2040, and they came up with a number of 70 million. Now, just put that with the less than 400,000 new homes that were sold last year. Obviously, builders are doing what they need to do, which is not, put inventory up into the marketplace. But long range, down the road, with the growth of this country, we need a lot more residential units, and we'll need a lot more to be built just to meet demand. And that tells me that real estate's one heck of an investment. I can say hell, can I in this group? Yeah. It's one hell of an investment, and we should all be proud. And then also you should be proud of your industry. I mean, not only do we represent 21% of the GDP in this country, not only do we create a job every time we sell a home, not only do we put $60,000 into our local economy, but that horrible day, 9/11 back in 2001, what industry kept our country from going into a severe, severe, deep recession? That was our industry. We shut down for 10 days, and then we picked it right back up, and most of us had record months, and we kept our country above float during those dark days right after 9/11. So we should all be very, very proud of our industry. So with that, I want to say thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you for being so nice and so kind. And if you think I did a good job, you can give me some applause. It is my distinct pleasure now to introduce our next guest speaker. I have said this publicly, and I've said this in print and probably on television, that I've been with Coldwell Banker 33, almost 34 years. I have never, ever, you guys that are leaving, hopefully you're going to the bathroom and you're coming back. You're going to miss one hell of a presentation, a lot better than mine, I'll tell you. I've said this, I've never seen a 12 or 18 month run in marketing and creative things that our company has done under the leadership of Mike Fisher. He's just a phenomenal individual. He's just a hell of a nice guy. He's so creative, he's very smart, and what he's done with our marketing department is just absolutely amazing and just blows my mind. I'm creative on some things, but I have no creativity in marketing. So it's my distinct pleasure to introduce the guy that runs all the marketing for all Coldwell Banker around the world, Mike Fisher.